Remove her voting credentials. The words land before she understands they're about her. On the projection screen, the updated board slate refreshes. Her name disappears. A ripple moves across the room, not shock, adjustment. The general counsel doesn't look at her when he signals security. Per the amended bylaws, the restructuring is effective immediately. Applause starts at the far end of the table, controlled, corporate. Her husband stands. Calm, jacket buttoned. This positions the company for generational continuity. Generational. The word lingers. She stays seated. Show the amendment, she says. No one answers. Instead, his sister steps forward, tablet in hand. And we're pleased to announce our new Chief Vision Officer. The doors open. A younger woman walks in. Measured, composed. One hand resting low against her stomach. The room notices. Applause rises again, stronger this time. Her husband doesn't look at her. He looks at the woman beside him. If you're new here, the sister adds lightly, you might want to subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what this company becomes next. Laughter. It sounds rehearsed. Security reaches her chair. She doesn't move. Under what authority? She asks. The general counsel finally meets her eyes. Unanimous consent. She studies the faces around the table. Founding investors, people who once pitched this idea from her kitchen counter. No one interrupts. The pregnant woman takes the empty seat. Her seat. Leather shifts, wood creaks. A photographer near the back captures the handshake. Flash. Her husband clears his throat. We appreciate your early contributions, he says, not using her name. But stability requires difficult decisions. Early. As if she'd been phased out naturally. She stands. Display the amendment. The sister tilts her head. This isn't the time. The vote proceeds without her. New equity distribution passes. A future she built reallocates in real time. As she's escorted toward the doors, she catches fragments. Health concerns. Emotional volatility. Optics. At the exit, she turns. Who signed it? She asks. Her husband answers this time. You'll receive documentation. He doesn't deny it. The pregnant executive is already fielding congratulations. The room recalibrates without her. If you were sitting at that table, would you have stayed silent too? Or would you have said her name out loud? The doors close. Applause continues inside. By the time she reaches the parking garage, the press release is live. Co-founder steps back to prioritize health and family. Her phone vibrates relentlessly. Concerned messages. Not supportive ones. She opens the internal portal to review the amendment. Access denied. Her email logs out. A second notification appears. All executive communication now routes through the Office of Strategic Vision. Strategic Vision. The pregnant woman's title. When she arrives home, the housekeeper avoids eye contact. Ma'am, the new schedule was sent from corporate. Corporate. In her own kitchen. He's waiting in the living room. Jacket off, sleeves rolled, controlled. You forced this, she says. He exhales slowly. You haven't been stable. Stable enough to build it. That was before. Before what? He glances toward the hallway. The unfinished nursery door stands open. Blueprints rest on the dresser. There are future considerations, he says carefully. Say it. He doesn't. Instead, legacy requires alignment. Alignment. She studies him. Is it yours? Silence answers first. Then, this changes optics. Optics. Not truth. Not betrayal. Optics. Her phone buzzes again. An investor text. Is it true you requested medical leave? She looks at him. Did you draft it? The board agreed. You removed me. We protected the company. From her. In the hallway, she hears movement. The housekeeper speaking softly to someone. The pregnant executive steps inside without knocking. Just finalizing the brand transition assets, she says, voice even. In her house. He doesn't object. The younger woman's gaze lingers briefly on the nursery. Then back to her. You'll appreciate this later, she says. Appreciate. The word settles heavily. By tomorrow morning, every staff email signature reflects the leadership change. Her calendar empties. The board schedules an emergency investor call without her. If your access disappeared overnight, would you fight publicly or gather proof first? He stands, smoothing his shirt. This doesn't have to be hostile. It already is. From down the hall, the faint sound of a drill. Measurements being taken. The nursery dimensions adjusted. He doesn't stop it. She watches him instead, trying to see when he made the decision, trying to see if he ever looked back. And if you think this ends with a simple apology, you haven't been paying attention. The nursery door is closed. It was open yesterday. She stands in the hallway, palm flat against painted wood that still smells faintly of primer. Inside, a low hum vibrates through the door. Not a drill this time, a soft mechanical whir. She opens it. A crib has been delivered. Assembled. Centered beneath the window. White. Neutral. Efficient. The rocking chair she bought years ago is gone. In its place, a sleek glider still wrapped in plastic. On the dresser, swatches of fabric, mood boards, a printed rendering of the room labeled, Phase 1 Transition. Transition. She hears her name spoken from downstairs, not by him. By the younger woman. Clear, confident. She'll understand once things settle. Settle. She steps into the room fully, opens the closet. Her storage boxes are stacked in the corner, taped shut, labeled in someone else's handwriting. Archive. Like discontinued inventory. Her phone buzzes, a notification from the company's social feed. A photo. Her husband and the pregnant executive in the boardroom. Caption, leading with vision for the next generation. Comments flood in. Heart emojis. Congratulations. A former employee writes, change is hard, but growth is necessary. Growth. She scrolls further. A repost from his mother, so proud of this new chapter. New chapter. Her chest tightens, but her hands stay steady. Footsteps approach. The younger woman appears in the doorway, carrying a folder. I hope you don't mind, she says lightly. The designers needed measurements. Designers. For my house. For the company property, she corrects gently. It's held under corporate trust. Corporate trust. She hadn't checked the deed since the expansion year. The younger woman steps closer, eyes scanning the room like a project site. It's important to align messaging, she continues. Investors are sensitive to instability. Instability. You mean me? The pause. I mean optics. Always optics. From downstairs, laughter. His voice joins it. Easy, relaxed. As if nothing fractured yesterday. She looks at the folder in the younger woman's hand. What's phase 2? The woman hesitates, just a flicker. Then she hands over the folder. Inside, architectural drafts. A renovation plan. Master suite conversion. Guest wing extension. Her office replaced with a nursery bath. Approved. Signed. Dated 3 weeks ago. Before the vote. Before the press release. Before she was escorted out. The younger woman watches her carefully now. You should sit down, she says. Concerned. Polished. Rehearsed. The floor feels solid beneath her. I'm fine. Downstairs, his phone rings. He answers on speaker. Yes, dilution is cleaner, he says. She'll retain title, not control. Not control. The younger woman's gaze shifts toward the sound. Then back to her. It's strategic, she says softly. You built something powerful. It deserves continuity. Continuity. The word lingers. She closes the folder. Returns it. Tell him I'm reviewing the deed. For the first time, something unreadable passes across the younger woman's face. A recalculation. Downstairs, his laughter stops abruptly. Silence spreads through the house like a warning. And somewhere behind that silence, paperwork is already moving. The deed is not where it should be. The safe contains insurance policies, passports, contracts. Not the property title. She searches the filing cabinet in her old study. Empty drawers. Her framed patent certificate is gone from the wall. A faint rectangle of cleaner paint marks where it hung. Her laptop pings. A calendar invite appears. Emergency capital adjustment meeting. She wasn't included as an attendee. She clicks the shared drive link anyway. Access restricted. Her phone rings. Unknown number. She answers. A man introduces himself as a representative from the primary lending bank. He speaks carefully. There's been a request to restructure collateral against the marital estate. Marital estate. What collateral? A secondary lien against your residential asset. Her house. For what purpose? Capital stabilization during executive transition. Executive transition. I didn't authorize that. A pause. Our records show consent filed by joint signature. Joint. Her signature. She feels it before she sees it. Forgery has a weight. She opens her email archive, searches for any property-related correspondence, finds a forwarded PDF from weeks ago. Subject line, routine trust update. She never opened it. Attached, scanned authorization forms. Her name in digital script. Timestamped at 2:13 a.m. She was in another city that night. Speaking at a conference. Photographed on stage. Documented. She saves the file. Her pulse steadies. Downstairs, voices rise. His sister. Once the shares are diluted, she's symbolic, Investors don't revolt over symbols. Symbolic. The word presses into her spine. Her phone vibrates again. A message from a founding investor she hasn't heard from in months. Call me, something isn't lining up. She stares at the stairs. The house feels different now. Measured. Divided. Engineered. From below, his voice cuts through. Is she upstairs? Footsteps begin climbing. She closes the laptop. Leaves the lights off. Waits. Because if they're restructuring assets, rewriting ownership, erasing signatures, this isn't just removal. It's premeditated. And he's almost at the door. Her phone is still warm from the bank call when she dials the founding investor back. He doesn't greet her. They're moving faster than they should, he says. Papers shuffle on his end. The amendment was filed before the board meeting minutes were finalized. Filed before approval. That's not procedure. No, he agrees. It's strategy. She walks into her old study. The walls feel stripped. Even the air smells different, like someone wiped it down. Can you access the filing registry? She asks. I already did. Silence stretches. They backdated the submission. Her throat tightens, not fear, recognition. How clean. Clean enough to pass if no one looks closely. Sloppy enough to fail if someone does. Someone will. A pause. You're sure you want to do this publicly? Publicly. She imagines the boardroom again. The applause. Yes. Downstairs, a door closes sharply. His voice carries. Get the revised projections to legal tonight. Revised. She lowers her voice. What else? The investor exhales. There's talk of liquidity concerns. They're preparing to frame you as a financial liability. Liability. They'll say you misallocated development capital. She approved those allocations, he says quietly. Approved. Signed. Documented. They're building a narrative, he continues. You need proof, not emotion. Emotion. As if that's what this is. She opens her laptop again, pulls up archived emails, budget approvals, investor briefings. Threads stretch back years. Her fingerprints are everywhere. And so are his. She screenshots everything, downloads copies to an external drive. Footsteps stop outside the study. The handle turns. Locked. He knocks once. Open the door. She doesn't. You're escalating this, he says evenly. We can resolve it internally. Internally. With forged documents, she asks. Silence. Then softer. You're going to hurt yourself if you fight this. Hurt. The word is almost tender. She unlocks the door. He stands there composed, sleeves rolled, expression measured. You're not thinking long-term, he says. I built the long-term. You built the product, he corrects. And you built the exit. He doesn't deny it. Instead, he studies her like a risk assessment. The market reacts to instability, he says. If this turns hostile, valuation drops. So this is about valuation. It's about protection. Of what? He doesn't answer. His phone vibrates. He checks it, jaw tightening slightly. The board scheduled the capital adjustment vote for Friday, he says. It would be wise if you didn't attend. Wise. As if she's the volatile one. I'll be there. He holds her gaze for a long moment. Then don't be surprised by the outcome. He leaves the door open behind him. Down the hall, she hears the younger woman's laugh. Light, unbothered. Her email refreshes. A notification from a financial blog. Sources suggest internal conflict at rising tech firm. The article mentions her by name. Questions her judgment. Anonymous quotes. She scrolls. It's already spreading. This isn't just a board maneuver. It's a campaign. And it's accelerating. The family dinner is at his mother's house. Crystal glasses, polished silver, candles too tall for the table. The younger woman sits at his right. She sits across. His mother beams at the curve beneath the silk dress. We've waited so long for this, she says, touching the younger woman's hand. Waited. For what? She asks evenly. For continuity, his mother replies. A name carried forward. Her name is not spoken. Wine is poured, plates are passed. His sister discusses market optimism, how the pregnancy reassures investors. Stability sells, she says. Stability. Is that what you're calling it? She asks. His mother's smile tightens. You've always been ambitious, she says gently, but family requires sacrifice. Sacrifice. What exactly have I been unwilling to give? Silence presses in. The younger woman clears her throat softly. We all want what's best for the company, she says, and for the child. The child. Claimed already. You mean your child, she says. The air shifts. His hand settles protectively on the younger woman's back. Subtle, visible. His mother watches the gesture with approval. Later, in the hallway, she overhears them. She won't step aside, his sister says. She won't have a choice, he replies. A plate shatters in the kitchen. Everyone looks up. She's still standing in the hallway. Unmoving. But something inside has shifted. Not grief. Not rage. Calculation. Back at the house, she opens the external drive. Scrolls through the forensic metadata report she commissioned quietly that afternoon. Timestamp discrepancies highlighted in red. User credentials traced. The sisters log in. Altered after filing deadline. She prints the report. Lays it out on the desk. Her phone lights up. A message from him. Don't turn this into something it doesn't have to be. She types back. It already is. By morning, the financial blog has updated its headline. Co-founder accused of mismanagement amid internal shakeup. Accused. Her inbox fills with investor inquiries. Some concerned. Some cautious. One blunt. If there's exposure here, I need to know before Friday. Exposure. She forwards the metadata report to the founding investor. He replies within minutes. This is actionable. Actionable. But before she can respond again, her phone rings. The bank. The secondary lien has been executed, the representative says carefully. Executed. Under what authority? Board-certified stabilization, clause tied to executive restructuring. Executive restructuring. They're leveraging your shares as collateral, he continues. If valuation dips further, liquidation triggers. Liquidation. They're betting the market against me. It appears so. She hangs up. The house feels too quiet. Her phone buzzes again. A notification from the company's official account. A video posted minutes ago. Her husband speaking directly to camera. Calm, reassuring. "We're entering a new chapter," he says. "Change can be uncomfortable, but it ensures sustainability." Behind him, through the glass wall, the younger woman stands, hand resting on her stomach, smiling softly. Comments flood in. Support. Praise. Speculation. One question repeated over and over. Why did she step down? Step down. She didn't. But the story is already moving without her. And Friday is coming fast. The conference room is colder than usual. Not in temperature. In tone. The blinds are half drawn. Light cuts across the table in sharp bands. Every seat is filled. Legal, finance, his sister at the far end, him at the head. Her chair is still there. For now. "Let's begin," he says, not looking at her. A slide appears. Capital adjustment proposal. Her name sits in small font beneath a bullet point. Equity realignment. The CFO clears his throat. Given recent volatility and reputational exposure, leadership recommends share dilution to stabilize investor confidence. Volatility. Reputational exposure. She studies the graph. The dip started the morning the press release framed her departure. Manufactured decline. "You engineered the instability," she says evenly. No one reacts. His sister clicks to the next slide. Dilution reduces concentrated control and protects long-term valuation. Protects. Her shares are highlighted in red. A visual target. "How much?" she asks. "Enough to rebalance governance." A non-answer. The general counsel slides a packet toward her. Preliminary vote counts. They've already secured proxies. It's theater. Her phone vibrates against the table. She doesn't look down. "Before you proceed," she says, "I'd like the amended bylaws entered into record." A pause. His jaw tightens almost imperceptibly. "We've already reviewed them." "I haven't." A beat. The founding investor clears his throat from midway down the table. "I'd like to see them again." Eyes shift. The sister's smile hardens. "We're not reopening settled procedure." "Procedure wasn't settled," the investor replies. Silence thickens. She opens her folder slowly, places the forensic report on the table, turns it so the red highlights face outward. Metadata shows the amendment was altered after filing. No one reaches for the paper. Credentials tied to internal access were used past the deadline. Now the general counsel looks. The CFO shifts. His sister doesn't move. "Are you accusing someone of fraud?" she asks lightly. "I'm stating facts." He finally looks at her. "This isn't the forum." "It is if you're using forged documents to erase me." A murmur moves around the table. He stands. "Enough." The room quiets instantly. "We are not litigating technicalities in front of investors," he says. "This meeting is about stability." Stability. He turns to the CFO. "Call the vote." Hands lift. Not all. But enough. The dilution passes preliminary approval. Her shares drop from controlling to symbolic in a matter of seconds. The screen updates. Percentages adjust. Her influence evaporates in real time. The founding investor doesn't raise his hand. Neither do two others. But they are outnumbered. He nods once. Effective immediately. The air feels thinner. She gathers her papers slowly. "This isn't over," she says. "It is," his sister replies. "You're now protected from yourself." Laughter flickers at the edge of the table. Her phone vibrates again. This time she looks. A notification from the bank. Margin threshold warning. If valuation dips another 2%, liquidation triggers automatically. They've timed this. She stands. "Be careful," the founding investor says quietly as she passes him. Of what? They're prepared for retaliation. Prepared. Outside the building, reporters are already gathering. Someone tipped them. Microphones extend toward her. "Did you step down voluntarily? Are allegations of mismanagement accurate? Is the pregnancy influencing leadership decisions?" The word pregnancy hangs in the air. She doesn't answer. Across the plaza, he exits through the executive entrance. The younger woman at his side. Hand resting protectively at her back. Cameras flash. They pose. Unified. She watches the image form. A family. A future. A company. Without her. Her phone rings. The bank again. "Liquidation threshold reached," the representative says. "Your shares are being executed to satisfy stabilization terms." Executed. You can't. It's automatic. Across the street, he checks his phone. A subtle nod. The market closes in 10 minutes. Her ownership dissolves before the bell. She stands there while it happens. No board vote now. No discussion. Just numbers changing. When the final notification comes through, it's brief. Position closed. She is no longer majority. She is no longer minority. She is nothing. Across the plaza, the younger woman looks up from the cameras. Their eyes meet. For a moment, the smile fades. Then returns. The emergency shareholder town hall is standing room only. The announcement went out an hour ago. Clarification regarding governance allegations. He insisted on hosting it. Transparency, he said. The stage is set with 2 podiums. One for him. One for questions. She isn't listed on the agenda. He opens with practiced calm. "Recent noise has created confusion. We want to reaffirm our commitment to ethical leadership." Applause. He gestures toward the screen. Graphs stabilize. Stock trending upward again. "Volatility has been addressed," he continues. Addressed. Her liquidation funded that stabilization. He doesn't mention it. Questions begin. Soft ones. Pre-screened. Then a hand rises near the back. The founding investor. Was the capital adjustment contingent on margin-triggered liquidation of a founding shareholder? The room stills. He pauses. Our restructuring complied with governance standards. That wasn't my question. Murmurs. Cameras pivot. He tightens his grip on the podium. The adjustment was necessary to protect the company. Protect. She steps forward from the side aisle. Gasps ripple. Security hesitates. Necessary because you created the instability, she says clearly. The room erupts. He stares at her. You're not scheduled to speak. I don't need to be. She connects her laptop to the projection system before anyone can stop her. The screen flickers, then fills. Original bylaws. Unaltered. Highlighted clause. Unanimous consent required. She flips to the metadata report. Timestamps displayed in large font. Credentials traced. His sister's login ID. The room shifts. The younger woman stands from her seat in the front row. "This is defamatory," she says sharply. "Is it?" she replies. She switches slides. Patent filings. Initial concept sketches. Her name alone on the earliest drafts. Dated years before his involvement expanded. A ripple of recognition moves through the investors. He steps away from the podium. "This is a personal dispute," he says. "No," she answers. "It's a governance breach." The founding investor stands again. "I move for independent audit." Hands begin to rise. Not all, but enough to fracture control. His sister's face drains of color. The younger woman's hand falls from her stomach. For the first time, she looks uncertain. The vote to suspend the amendment passes by narrow margin. Applause hesitant, then building. He doesn't clap. Instead, he watches her. Calculation returning. The audit will take weeks. Months. Control is not restored. Just paused. As the crowd disperses, she steps down from the stage. Her phone vibrates. A message from an unknown number. One line. "Check the hospital registry." She freezes. The younger woman is across the room, speaking quietly to his sister. Her expression is unreadable. The message sender sends a second line. The due date doesn't match. The air shifts again. This isn't over. It's widening. By Friday morning, the market had already decided there was blood in the water. The pre-market ticker ran red across every finance app. Commentators speculated about leadership fractures, liquidity exposure, a necessary transition. Her name was said carefully, detached. She arrived at the building before the board. The lobby screens looped the new corporate video, his voice calm, controlled, speaking about continuity. The younger woman framed in soft focus behind him. Security hesitated when she walked in. Not long, just long enough. In the elevator, she opened the email from the founding investor again. Proxy secured, 2 swing votes confirmed, legal prepared. 3 days ago, she had been reacting. Today she had numbers. The boardroom smelled like polished wood and citrus cleaner. The long table reflected the city in fractured lines. He stood near the window, back to the skyline. The sister sat 2 chairs to his right. Legal counsel arranged folders with mechanical precision. The younger woman was not present. Optics. He looked at her when she entered, not surprised, just assessing. "You decided to attend," he said. "I never resigned." A few board members avoided her eyes. One nodded slightly. Seats filled, laptops opened, water poured. The chair cleared his throat. "We're here to vote on the capital stabilization amendment and executive restructuring." Restructuring. He spoke first, confident, structured. Charts projected onto the screen, declining valuation, media volatility, investor anxiety. He framed it as protection, as stewardship. "The company cannot be subject to personal conflict," he said evenly. "Markets punish uncertainty." No one mentioned the forged filing. Not yet. When he finished, the room was quiet. Your response, the chair asked. She didn't stand immediately. She let the silence stretch. Then she slid a folder down the table. Forensic metadata analysis of the amendment filing, she said. Timestamp discrepancies, user credentials, post-deadline alterations. The sister's hand stilled on her glass. Legal reached for the report first. He didn't look at the pages. He looked at her. You're alleging misconduct, he said. I'm presenting documentation. The chair scanned a highlighted section. His expression changed almost imperceptibly. You're aware, she continued, voice level, that filing under false timestamp constitutes securities fraud. No one moved. Outside, traffic drifted 20 floors below. Legal leaned toward him, whispering. He finally opened the report. He read the login trail. The sister's credentials. Her eyes remained steady. This is a misinterpretation of internal drafting revisions, he said carefully. Filed before approval, she replied. Backdated after objection. The founding investor spoke then. I can confirm the filing registry reflects the altered submission. One swing vote shifted in his chair. The chair closed the folder. If this is accurate, we have liability exposure far beyond valuation. Liability. The word landed differently here. He recalibrated. Even if procedural errors occurred, he said, tone softening, the broader issue remains governance instability. She reached for the remote. The next slide wasn't financial. It was a transfer schedule. Share movement. Secondary lien execution. 3 days ago, she said, a stabilization clause leveraged my shares as collateral without full board disclosure. Murmurs now. That clause activates only under executive restructuring, she added, which had not been approved. The room shifted. The sister finally spoke. The clause protects the company from reputational collapse. It protects voting control, she answered. Silence. The chair leaned back. We will recess for counsel review. They stepped into the hallway. He followed her. You're detonating the company to win an argument, he said quietly. No, she said. I'm removing the explosive you planted. His composure cracked just slightly. You think investors will reward this spectacle? I think they'll reward transparency. You're naive. I built the product. I negotiated the first 3 funding rounds. I stabilized during the downturn you almost panicked through. He didn't deny it. He looked tired for the first time. This was never personal, he said. It almost sounded true. She studied him. The man she had once trusted with every idea, every prototype, every risk. You replaced me before you removed me, she said. That part was personal. He didn't answer. Inside, the board reconvened. The vote was conducted without speeches this time. Each name called. Each answer clear. 2 weeks ago, she would have lost. Today, the swing votes held. The amendment failed. The restructuring motion collapsed with it. The chair folded his hands. An independent investigation will commence regarding the filing irregularities and lien activation. Legal language. But final. He sat very still. The sister stared at the table. No applause. No celebration. Just consequence. By afternoon, the financial blogs shifted tone. Board rejects restructuring amid governance questions. Questions, not accusations. The market stabilized before close. Not soaring, but steady. Her phone filled with messages. Investors expressing cautious confidence. Employees asking what came next. She walked into the now quiet office. The younger woman stood near her desk. No cameras, no soft lighting. Just fluorescent hum. "I didn't know about the filing," she said softly. Maybe she hadn't. Or maybe she had known just enough. "He told me it was strategic," she continued. "For the baby." The baby. She looked at the woman's hand, resting over her stomach. Protection. Continuity. Leverage. "You're building a life," she said evenly. "Make sure you're not just part of someone else's strategy." The younger woman swallowed. No more was said. That evening, she returned to the house. It felt temporary now. Not because she'd lost it. Because she'd outgrown it. He was in the study. Boxes half packed. "You're leaving?" she asked. "For now." No anger. Just fatigue. "The investigation will drag," he said. "I won't let it bleed into the child's life." Child. There it was again. He looked at her like he used to, when decisions were mutual. "You could have stepped aside," he said, "and watched you erase me. I would have compensated you." She almost smiled. "I didn't want compensation." He nodded once. A small acknowledgement. "I underestimated you," he said. "Yes." No softness in it. Just fact. He picked up a box. Paused. "If the investigation clears me," he said, "what then?" The question hung there. She didn't answer immediately. Because that was the one thing she didn't know. Weeks later, the company held a press briefing. No spectacle. No dramatic statements. She stood alone at the podium. "We made procedural errors," she said calmly. "We are correcting them. Governance matters. Transparency matters more." No mention of betrayal. No mention of marriage. Just leadership. Shares closed green that day. Not because of drama. Because uncertainty had ended. At night, in her new apartment overlooking the river, she opened the final report. The independent investigation confirmed altered timestamps. Improper lien activation. Censure recommended. He would step down pending review. Not destroyed. Not absolved. Suspended between. Justice, but measured. She set the report aside. The city hummed below. Her phone buzzed once. A message from an unknown number. A single photo. An ultrasound image. No caption. She stared at it for a long time. Not rage. Not sorrow. Just the weight of something unfinished. She placed the phone face down. On the kitchen counter sat a thin folder, early sketches for a new division she'd been considering. Her name alone on the header. No shared signatures. No dual authority. The company would survive. So would she. Across the river, lights flickered in high-rise windows. Thousands of private negotiations happening behind glass. Her phone buzzed again. Another message. "We need to talk." No name. She didn't open it. Not yet. Instead, she stepped onto the balcony. Cold air. Open sky. Below, Traffic moved steadily forward. For the first time in months, she wasn't reacting. She was choosing. Inside, the phone continued to glow softly against the dark. She let it. And the night held its breath.